And move on. Hey, everybody. Look, I'm thinking I put my countdown up and all that great stuff, and I've just popped up like fresh on camera. So, welcome in today. We are live, and we want to say thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Woo! If last night was any indication, hold on a second. Let me get my background music going. Let me get my theme music going. You all showed up last night to hear what the men had to say. I fully expect you all to come on in tonight. Come on into the room. Come on and listen to us. Let me tell you who I am really, really quickly. And then we're going to go ahead and get to our guest. Because you all are not really tuning in to hear from Keitha. I mean, let's just go ahead and just say that, okay? Just put that out there. You all are tuning in to see what the guys have to say as they break it down, okay? Break it down. And what men want in relationships. I am Keitha Sharp, Coach K. Listen, this is how you help us, and this is what we request. We ask that you comment tonight if you're joining us. We ask that you like the broadcast. We ask that you share the broadcast because that way we can get more information into the hands of more people and help all of us understand what men want in relationships. Ladies, you had your turn last week. Yeah, come on into the room. Come on into the room. It's the time now for the guys to have their say. I appreciate you. I can't see who did that, but I see your reaction. Your reaction, every comment, every like, when you watch us, it helps to get the message out. That is the only thing we ask you for. And listen, let me go ahead and say this because I'm getting ready to bring on my guest, okay? I want you all to get your questions ready. I want you all to get your comments ready, and I want you to join into the conversations. I have my bottled water. I was eating some strawberries a little earlier, but I'm going to be talking and listening. Get your snacks, get your dinner, and press play because we are getting ready to take off. What do men want in relationships? Without further ado, I am going to bring on our special guest for this evening. His name, Eric Kirk. Hey, Eric.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you?
Super fantastic. He is an author of The Power of Two. He's got his website listed there if you want to go check that out. We're going to get into the book and all of that great stuff. Let me go ahead, Eric, and just kind of wind this music on down because we're about to let your voice come on up.
Right.
And I want you to share some things with us tonight. They're already on tonight. And I want to ask, we're going to get to the book and all of that. So first of all, thank you so much for agreeing to come on and share with us because, you know, I know it can be kind of a vulnerable thing to kind of be put on the hot seat and be responsible for telling us what men want in relationships, but women want to hear it. Enough of that. What do men, and I'm going to start off with that general question. Is there a way to summarize what men really want in relationships?
I think there's a way to summarize it. I could give a list, and kind of, in my years of asking the question, I'm part of a men's group. It's about 9,000-10,000 men of all persuasions.
Wow.
And when I was looking at this question, I said, well, I went back and I started, looking at the post because in this place, it's a safe place and men are real vulnerable. And if you never had the privilege to be in the space of a man that's not afraid to cry, not afraid to show his emotions, I tell you, it's a mystery that you can miss out on because it's almost like that unicorn. Because you think it don't exist, but it really does exist. But it has to be in a safe place. So when I was going down that list, I started picking out certain things, and I said, okay, I hear his voice, I know what he's saying, and these conversations really came about, with one of the things that men do is they come in, they introduce themselves, and they kind of, share their problems, and so what I want to do, I want to I want to tell you the list,
Come on.
but I want to give you I want to give you that summary that you asked for as well. Okay, you know.
Okay, sure thing.
So men want they want that kind of heart. They want that compassion. They talk about, the outer shell of that man is very hard, but who he really is, he wants to connect on that compassionate side of you. He really wants to connect that way. He knows that he has to be in a certain place just because of his position.
Hmm.
Okay, but at the same time, when he come home, he really wants to connect with you in a very compassionate way. Okay, so he
Mhm.
wants the kind and compassion. He wants that to be reciprocated. He wants to give that to you. He wants the emotional stability. He wants you to be supportive because he has these goals, he has these dreams, so he wants you to be supportive with that.
Hmm.
He wants you loyal. He wants you to have that shared value. And I can, with all of that being said, I can say,
Mhm.
the number one thing that men wants is respect, and I definitely want to hit on that later.
Oh, oh,
Now,
let me speak to some of your folks who are on here. Greg Dotson is saying hello. He's inviting Miss Pamela, Miss Tamara, and Felicia, and Miss Hallie. So, ladies, hello to those of you who are on. Miss Tiffany Newton is speaking to us as
hey
well.
Tiffany,
And
hey
also,
Greg.
hey, they're asking, and Greg too. He's saying, "Are you married?" Greg, he is married. He said, "Is he married or single or is it complicated?" He is married. In fact, I think you're newly married, aren't you?
Yes, I'm newly married this October, and I
Yeah.
just pulled up the comments so I can see them now.
Okay.
I just this October the 30th would make my first year, and
Oh, happy anniversary! Happy early anniversary.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
So
So yes, Greg, I am. I'm a newlywed. I'm still in the honeymoon phase.
I love it. I love it. I love so you're coming from a different perspective, which is really great, Eric, because yesterday we had on Xavier who kind of came from that, single guy's perspective or whatever, and you're coming from a married gentleman's perspective. So, ladies, gentlemen, whatever questions you have, comments, let's go. We're in here. I want to touch on something that you mentioned. You said that the gentlemen want to be, because I don't know. And ladies, if I'm out here by myself, help me out. Help me out. If I am, you can call me out on it. I don't know that enough women understand that men want to be compassionate towards us. I think we kind of struggle with that, or either we don't understand how to read that. Can you help us out with that? Like, what does that look like with a guy wanting to be compassionate for us?
Right. Well, and let me clear it up. Now he not only do he want to be compassionate, but he wants the compassion. And that's
Ah,
more. That's really more so what I'm saying. He wants you to be compassionate. But here's the thing. Um, if you look at the outer being of the man, then you would say, well, that's not something he would desire.
hmm,
Okay. But the best way to look at it, and the best way to answer your question, you can look at that same man with his relationship to his mom. So, and the reason why I say that, Coach K, is because um, that compassion in the man is not like it's exempt from his being.
okay.
So that is an emotion that he has, but there is a place where a man have to be safe to allow that to happen. So what I want everybody to understand is that yes, he want the compassion and he wants to be compassionate, um, but it has to be a safe enough place, because the last thing that you can do, the worst thing that you can do to a man is allow him to take off of that armor, show you his backside, and
Mm-hmm.
then stab him in the process. That and that kind of goes towards his the trust that he has in you. It's hard. And I tell you, a lot of times you can run victim from being his previous relationship where he did show his hind part, and he got hurt in the process, and then he
Mhm.
swore to himself that I'll never do that again. And that's a whole nother story. But one of the things that I want to make sure that we understand is that what is it that he really wants? It's not that he don't. Now that he's being hard, it wasn't
Yep.
that he didn't want it. It was the reason why he had to put back on his armor. It was the reason
He
why he
wants to
had to,
work.
put that, because I tried it. Everybody told me not to do it, but I tried it. I got hurt, and I swear I'll never do it again. Now, eventually, he'll trust again, but it'll take some work. But he do wants it.
So that's interesting, and so I struggle with it a little bit, bro. And here's what I'm doing, and please understand, I multitask, so I'm not ignoring or whatever, but I'm normally multitasking. Okay, if you see me kind of looking around, I'm checking comments and doing things. I struggle a little bit with it in understanding, and I need help there because I think as women, ladies, like I said, don't leave me out here by myself. I think as women, we are expected to forgive. We're expected to forgive, and sometimes verbal, physical, emotional abuse. We're expected to forgive cheating, and we do. And there are sometimes it's evident, that our hearts have been closed too. But if my question is, if we're expected to forgive, how is that where the disconnect is? Why don't guys apply is that same principle?
You know, so I'm looking through my lens,
Yeah.
okay, and through my lens, I would say the exact opposite.
Hmm.
I would say that men are the first to forgive, and we're constantly asking ourselves, why do why do why do women, even if they know that they're wrong, why do I have to be the one to forgive and move on?
Hmm.
I mean, there is a whole nother movement that's talking about women and their lack of accountability. You know,
Wow.
so now, so the conversation is going. Um, and keep in mind, these are the men that I'm talking to, and they're saying, my wife never apologized to me. Listen, I know I'm newly married, but I'm not new to the marriage game. I was married
Okay.
33
Okay.
years. I
Say
was
that again.
I was
Say it
married
again.
33 years.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
and I can probably count. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't remember a time where my ex actually said I'm sorry.
Seriously?
I don't remember it. I want to say I can count on my hand, but you know what? But I really and truly don't remember a time where I ever heard. But I also remember this. I remember, in order for me to have peace in the house, I said, you know what? I had to go with the spirit of reconciliation just so we can move forward. And I'm gonna tell you, Coach, that is not an unusual scenario when speaking through the lens of a man.
So what I hear is, ladies, we got to do better. While we, and I will say, sometimes we do a real good job of kind of playing victim and kind of acting like, oh well, he did such and such. And what I'm hearing you say that as ladies, we got to step up the game too, and we're going to have to apologize. We're going to have to recognize when we do some things that are disrespectful or hurtful. But that in your experience, you found that in some cases that doesn't happen in marriages from a woman's perspective.
But here's the other side of the conversation.
Okay.
Even though those men will say, "Hey, my wife never apologized to me." So the question is, ask how many men um, asked them to or needed them to. And but this is where I'm going with it. We have that ability. We have that ability to say, you know what? Hey, let's just move on. Because keep in mind, at the end of the day, all we want is what? The peace.
Peace.
So,
I've
so,
heard that before.
so we're okay with that.
Yeah.
We're okay with it. Now, what we don't understand, and I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, but what we
Okay.
don't understand is how can we give so much? How can we understand? How can we give so much and then be looked at as the same person that have not given at all?
Mm.
How can we give so much? How can we, knowing in the past 33 years, say, you know what, you never said you were sorry about anything that you did. I know you did it. You know that you did it.
Yeah.
I always was the person that came and said, hey, let's just move forward. And then how can that same person that know that he have given be the same person that has said, you know what, but you still haven't given me enough. And see, when the reason why I want to bring that out is because there is a certain place that you know that's called this princess theory, this fairy tale relationship. And in that fairy tale relationship, that when you're dealing with the princess, um, they're every, they're that princess just don't do wrong.
I hear
That's
you.
the mentality
I hear you.
that we're up against. But ironically, if we want to be the prince that saved the day, we have to go through all the obstacles in order to save them. You see what I'm saying? We understand that, and so but because we're geared for that, we understand that when those challenges comes, we look at them and we wear them as a badge of honor.
I got you.
We do it over and over and over again. But so now imagine you actually saved the princess.
Mm-hmm.
You saved her.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said, but it wasn't good enough.
That sounds like an unappreciative person, and I cannot say it would be rare because I have not been in I haven't been in those shoes, but I sure understand it. And what I hear you say is that cuts both ways. When a person hurts another person in a relationship, that disrespect, that hurtful behavior, and doesn't take accountability for it. I remember a minister at my church saying this a long time ago. She said, marriage is for mature people.
Absolutely.
Marriage is for mature people. So if you have that other person who's emotionally immature or just an immature as a whole, doesn't recognize when they hurt you, won't say I'm sorry, that's a bum deal. And Eric, I promise I have in my mind I'm going to deal with these difficult conversations because I'm talking what men want, but what happens when what you're talking about? See, help me, Lord, because I want to round this out. What happens when you're in that situation for years? See, that's what we don't talk about. There are people who are in that situation for years and they don't know what to do. So help me, help us. When you're in that difficult situation, there may be people watching who are in a difficult situation. How did you handle that as a man?
Well, see, and let me clear something up, okay? Because um, I said that that in that scenario, you're gonna find the princess saying, "Okay, it's not good enough." But
Hmm.
the next question would be, well, how do that show up? How do that look?
Yeah.
Because it's not it's not a verbal conversation that she's saying, but this is where I'm heading with it. It shows up at the divorce court because, and keep in mind, I'm looking through a lens of thousands of men who said I did everything that I was supposed to do, and here's the thing, I had to start believing, especially when I started saying it myself.
Okay.
I had to start saying, well, in his mind, he really thought he did everything right. Now that could be debatable, but that's a different topic. We
I was
can
about to
debate
say
that.
that's a different day.
That's a different day. You know, I'm not.
Because I'm like, sir, how do we know you did everything? Was there a third party accountability with that?
Exactly. Exactly. That is the real nitty gritty when we get down to it. The next obvious question. You know, when but let's take it and say, you know what, he really do believe he
Okay.
did everything.
Okay.
Okay. You know, keep in mind what he do know that he fought through a lot of obstacles to save her. He do know that. That is not debatable.
Okay.
Okay. So now we dealing with, you know, what was the perception? What was it? You know, did you have the same goals? You
Mm-hmm.
know what? You know, because what we have found, and I'm a big advocate. You probably seen it on my post. Maybe you have. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you look at my post. Maybe you don't.
Oh, I do. I comment sometimes.
You do. What I believe is that we are this classic trying to make a circle fit into a square.
Mm.
Okay, sometimes now, so the conversation have to be separated because you some conversations, you know, we're talking about somebody who's beginning out. What do I
Yeah.
want? What do I expect in the beginning?
Yeah.
Then some conversations are okay. Well, you know, can we have this same conversation when you've been married? It's going to be a little different because this is what I believe, and this kind of going towards the current book that I'm working on. I did the Power Two,
Yeah.
but I'm coming out with another one that's going to just deal with dating. Okay, and
Okay.
you know, I'm like, me and you on in the same vibe. I know that God is working
Yeah.
because we just okay. Did
Yeah.
you see
Keep
that?
going. I
Okay.
did. I was trying to share your book and it went somewhere. I'm like, hold
No, you're
up.
right.
Wait a minute.
I thought it was something that I did.
No, no.
Um,
Keep going. Keep going.
but what I have noticed is this: there's a place in a relationship where you should not expect anything. And I know people get mad when I say that,
Mm.
but I say there's a place, there's a point where you should not expect anything, and then there's a place and a point where you should expect everything. You
Mm-hmm.
know, but what's happening is you're starting in the beginning of a relationship, and then you're expecting everything because you're the princess. Okay,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and you're expecting those things, and but it's a little bit out of order
Okay.
because that's why those were you know, if you're wondering why my relationships aren't developing,
Mm-hmm.
because you're out of sync, you're out of balance, because
Mm.
you may be expecting some things that you should not be expecting. You
Okay.
know, I had a
How do we
conversation.
bring that into order? How does a lady who she feels like she's expecting the world and the guy's saying you shouldn't be, how do we get on the same page because those expectations are everything. They can make or break a marriage. How do we get it together?
Absolutely. So I'm gonna kind of just I'm gonna dive from my book because in the book I break down these three phases of the relationship.
Okay.
And the first phase is that casual dating or uncommitted dating. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and in that phase, I speak about how you should not expect anything. But you know, whenever I say that, somebody says, "Well, okay, so if I'm going out on a date, you're telling me I should not expect anything. I should not expect him to pay for it." But here's the reality:
Okay.
most men are going to be okay with paying for it. So I'm not saying that he won't pay for the date. I'm just saying, don't you expect him to pay for the date? So
Okay.
how do that look? Well, you be prepared to pay for it. You be prepared. It's okay because because you are in the beginning stages. And this is what I say, Coach. I say if you never see that person again because he did not pay for your dinner, then
Mm-hmm.
that was the best date you ever had.
Mm. So you're
Why?
saying lady, so you're saying the lady should dial down the expectations initially, and
I
maybe
think
that would
the, on both sides.
on both sides.
It's easy to say to a man, "Don't expect sex on the first date." Why?
Well, I don't think, let me tell you, how can I say it to you? If he's looking for something serious, and by the way, y'all, this is his book and how it looks on Amazon, The Power of Two. I'm going to pull that up so you can take a look on purchasing The Power of Two. Yeah, I think, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I think if a guy can get sex on the first date, friend, I think he would. I don't know how many guys really respect women for doing that. So to say, what I'm saying is, I don't know that men really expect that on the first date. If they're looking, it all depends on what they're looking for. If they're looking for something serious, we're talking about, I'm talking about relationships, not
Absolutely.
situationships, you know? So no, he shouldn't expect that on the first date. But
Well,
so, huh? Go ahead.
what what I and it's not that receiving it is bad,
Hmm.
because I don't want to send that message out. Because
Okay.
if you got two adults that agree to have sex on the first date, there's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You know
I'm
what I'm
with you on
saying?
that. I'm with you on
I
that.
mean, if and the same, if a man decides to pay for your dinner, there's nothing wrong with that. Only thing
Yes.
that I'm saying is that there are the expectations in the beginning. Now, keep in
Okay.
mind, I
Okay.
go from expecting nothing to where you should expect everything. But
Okay.
in other words, when I'm casually dating, if there is not a commitment, then
Hmm.
why am I expecting anything? And if
Mm,
you really be honest, most failed relationships is failed because there are an unmet expectation.
that is interesting.
And
Let me tell, you, bro. I gotta. For some reason, I'm not picking up the comments here, but we got some folks talking on here. Okay,
oh,
I want to,
shit.
so hold, put a pin on it. The
Okay.
comments are not pulling up on my deal over here for some reason, but I'm seeing it on here. So Dale Mitchell is on here. Dale says hello. Sheena from
What's
the
up,
locker
Dale?
says hello. Greg Dotson says Trump will apologize for a wrong before most women do. Greg, this is the finger you get from me. I'm going to get you.
See,
You're going to
Greg understand
Greg,
what I'm talking about.
Greg Dotson and Eric Kirk. Y'all are going to get the finger on that. Here and listen, Tiffany says, okay, I hear that from men too. So unfortunate. Dale Mitchell says, just normalize apologizing after knowing when you're wrong instead of being defensive because you're embarrassed about being in the wrong. Rachel Jones says, you are right. Women should not expect to have anything paid for on a first date. A first date should be a coffee or something simple. Hey, y'all, listen, if y'all are commenting, I'm having to go for my comments here. StreamYard's not posting. Y'all, listen. I don't know. Maybe I'm so, let's put it like this. Okay, y'all help me out, sisters and brothers, and y'all can challenge me on this. I'm so old school. If a guy asks me out, Eric, you know where I'm going with this. I'm
I
so
know.
old school. If a guy asks me out, I'm expecting him to pay for it. Y'all can say I'm wrong for that. But if he asks me out, I mean, I'm not asking for Ruth Chris on the first date, but a sandwich,
Yeah.
a pot of spaghetti. Now I'm saying that being sarcastic, Eric. But because honestly, if we do go to coffee on a first date, I don't have a problem with that either. So I'm being a little messy.
And I get it. If you was my client,
Yes.
then I would want you to change everything you just said and
Interesting.
try a different approach.
Come on.
Because see, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I understand that if you're with the right man,
Okay.
he's not going to let you open the door. He's not going to let you pay for anything. He's not going to do
Come
anything.
on. Come on now,
Okay.
Eric. That's what I'm talking about.
You know, to this day, my wife still stands in front of the door because she
And wait.
knows. She knows. I mean,
Come on,
because that
Mrs. Kirk.
because that's her expectation. I expect you to do that. Guess what? I never from day one I never had a problem. You know why? Because my dad had taught me to do that. You see,
Yes.
so with the
Yes.
right person, that is not going to be an issue. But
Yes.
what the reason why I had to go that dramatic is because I realized that relationships was ending because of the of
Expectation.
expectations.
Yeah.
I mean,
Expectation.
so we have to change that. We have to change the way we see things because um, because it's damaging, and that's why the Power to is a great book. But I realized that we can't get to the Power to. We don't even know how to date. So I had to come back and I said, well, you know what? Let me fix some things. Let me go in and say and break down. Going from casual dating to committed dating. So now you're in
Mm-hmm.
a commitment.
Mm-hmm.
And then marriage. Oh, it's gonna be just like that, coach. It's gonna be just you're gonna go from non-commitment to a commitment, and then next thing you're gonna have is marriage. Why? Because you did it the right way. Because see, what I know is that when you come in and listen, I don't even know you. I don't know you, but
Yeah.
you expected me
Yeah.
you expected me to behave in a way, and I know some people would say, and I think Tony was in one of your lives. I think we kind of touched on that when you was talking about what a woman wants, and I
Yeah.
made a statement like, well, how do we know? And I couldn't say all what I wanted to say, but my
Yeah.
whole thought was, I don't even know you. I don't know,
Yeah.
and I'm not talking about her, but I'm
Oh, sure,
talking
sure.
about,
Sure.
in a woman, I don't know you. I'm trying to get to know you. I want to know. I'm gonna when we go on this first date, the second, third, however it is, I am on a fact finding mission. I'm trying
Okay.
to figure out who you are, and and me personally, I can pay for whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, and I also be okay when if we find out that we don't match. I'm
Yeah.
okay with that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because the whole purpose of this was for me to get to know you. Do I want to go from non-committed to committed? Because I can't get to marriage without the commitment. So
Okay.
we have to go through those phases. You know,
You
uh,
just go
there
ahead.
there
Go ahead. Go ahead.
there's these phases, in life.
Yeah.
There's these phases, as we deal with husband and wife. There's the three phases. You have that love phase,
Yeah.
okay, and then you have a building phase, and then you have a companionship phase. These
Yeah.
are these are the three phases. But here's the thing.
I'm
You
listening to you.
90, I'm 99.9% of divorces are happening in the building phase of a person's life.
Okay. Okay. Woo, you got it. Okay. You got to explain that, Eric. Then we have to go back to this dating things because these people are lit. There's something going on with my comments, so I can't post them. But Eric, they're lit. Okay, we're gonna go back to the dating phase. Rachel, hold on. Tiffany, hold on. Dale Mitchell, hold on. Rachel, hold on, because I want to get to your comments, y'all. So y'all hang in here with us. Okay, say that again, Eric. Okay, divorces happen when now?
They happen during the building phase of your life. But let me break it down.
Okay,
Okay, say you get married when you're 20 years old.
okay,
Okay, you have a baby. Now you got married because of the first phase. You was in love. That's the only
yeah.
thing that you need to focus on. I'm in love with her. I'm in love with him, and we got married. We got married.
Mm-hmm,
We had a baby. So let's
mm-hmm,
say you got married at 20, and let's say now I'm just gonna for the sake of easy math, I'm gonna say now this baby is 20. It's 20 years later. This
mm-hmm.
baby is ready to go off to college.
Okay,
Okay. Now, but this is the change. Okay.
okay,
This is where life gets a little difficult. That man is now 40 years old. Okay. Just a little side note. Did you know that the average person don't start saving for retirement until they turn 40?
nice side note. After the children, or most times children get a little older and they're more mature.
But what are they
Interesting.
thinking about? And um, your guest last night, y'all talked about it. What's his name? I'm sorry.
It was Xavier Smith. All
Xavier
good.
Smith. That's
Xavier
right.
Smith. Yeah,
Sorry about that, Xavier.
it's
Okay, but
okay.
he talked about legacy. Okay,
Yeah.
so what happens when a man turns 40? And I promise you, it happened to me.
Yeah.
You know, and if you think back, you know, hey, for those who are under 40, be prepared. And those who are over 40, I want you to think back and ask
Yeah.
yourself, how did your life change when you turn 40? You
Yeah.
know, it's something about that age. And another side note, you only get two sets of 40s. You only get two
Explain.
sets. You're gonna get 0 to 40. You can get 40 to 80, but you're
Yeah.
not gonna get another set of 40s after that.
That's right.
Okay. So essentially, what's happening is your mind is telling you, whether you're conscious of it or not, you at your last set of 40s. So wherever yeah, it's sad. I promise you, I had to fight through one of the biggest depressions. I made some of the big decisions because I started focusing on the fact that I'm on my last set of 40s. That's a side note. Okay. Now come on, come on. we got
Do
time.
you see my
I
expression?
see it. I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't have said that.
No. But guess what, Eric? That's real. And
That's
that's
real.
part of it too. Why we're, because we touched on that last night too. While we're playing these games,
Yes.
Xavier touched on that. We're playing these games. We're seeing how many we can get. We're seeing how many hearts we can break. We're doing this. We're doing that, and time keeps on ticking. Ain't nobody getting no younger. That's ironically incorrect. Ain't nobody getting no younger.
Now, that how you felt, and I'm sure the listeners was feeling it too.
Yeah.
I felt it. Now
Yeah.
think about that man. And I told you go from the love phase to the building phase to companion. So now he's in the building phase. Why? Because I'm focusing on my legacy. I'm focusing on what am I gonna do with my last set of 40s. The reason why I say divorce happened during the building phase is because men are builders just by nature. God did that. If you don't argue with me, talk to God about it. God did that. So we're builders. We have to build something, right? And now we're thinking about our kids. My kids going to college now. Okay, I wasn't saving for retirement, so now I get hypersensitive in let's just say work now. Now it's work.
Okay.
Now it's work, and I'm gonna tie this into what I said earlier, because while he's working, the only thing that he's thinking about is his wife and his kids. And he's saying, man, I got to leave something for them. If I die, then I want them to be straight. If if we live to see this 80, then I want to be able to give my wife the life that she deserves. That's all he's thinking about. But what happens when he goes through all those obstacles? He saved the princess, and she says it wasn't good enough. Because see, this is
Oh man,
there
I'm
you
here.
go. Okay.
Oh man.
So because this is what's happening.
My goodness.
Men are doing all of this, and everything by clockwork. Every last one of them say, I was doing it for her. I was doing it for her. I was doing it for her. And so now, and you say, well, why are you talking about this? Because the question is, well, what do women want? I mean, what is it that men want out of men? I need you to understand that, and this is where I said I wanted to clarify some things. I want to kind of put a bow on it, because I can give you this list of all these things that people talked about. But the truth of the matter is, man don't want anything. You know what he want? He want to give you everything, because everything that he's doing is for his family. Now, I'm not saying all men are equal. I'm not saying.
Okay, look, because I wasn't saying anything, but I was just like this.
What I seen you adjust your chair, I said, let me go ahead and put that disclaimer in, because you started thinking. I said,
very perceptive, bro. Very perceptive.
I said,
I'm like, hold up.
Okay, so here's the disclaimer. Nothing that I ever would say is going to be 100%. Give yourself some grace. Okay, it's going to be some wiggle room there. But what I will say, that when I started dealing with this and start realizing that, man, I got all these men and they all come in saying the same thing. I had to take it as a serious situation.
My
Why
goodness.
is it that every man come in and say I did everything right? Now it could be arrogant. We can make that argument,
Yeah.
but keep in mind this is the safe place. This is the place where men are saying, man, the macho stuff is out the door. You
Yeah.
see, this is where he feels safe, and he's coming there because, man, I need y'all to help me. I need answers. So I had to take it as he's really being serious. He really believed that he did everything right. And then when I tie that to
Yeah.
80% of the women filed for divorce, it started making sense to me.
So why are the 80? Okay, so help me tie it. And listen, we got some folks on here with some comments, and I gotta get to the comments and let you know what they're saying on here. Y'all hold on. Dale is talking, Rachel is talking, Cynthia Millage. You struck a chord with the only two sets of 40 there. Greg Dotson
Mm,
put it as a hashtag, only two sets of 40. Cynthia Millage, my friend out of Montgomery, says, I get it. Those last set of 40s really make you think. Y'all, it's serious. It's serious when you sit down and you start thinking, man, this thing is winding down. These are and similar things are coming out. Yesterday, Xavier talked about legacy. Okay, so in legacy, because a man is thinking about that, or should be. The Bible says a good
could be.
man, yeah, should be, leaves an
Yeah,
inheritance for his children. So
absolutely.
Eric, where's the disconnect? You said a man doesn't want anything. He's working to, and what I'm hearing you say is a mature man. He's not asking for anything. We get all things not created equal, all men not created equal. But a mature man is working to give to his wife and family. That's the mindset of a mature man. So help me understand. I can hear it. I can hear the question. Where's the disconnect then? If 80% of these women are filing for divorce,
Mm.
why don't they see or why don't they understand where's the disconnect?
You you ready? Go ahead and adjust your seat.
Wait, let me take a deep breath. I'm dramatic. I'm dramatic, bro. Hold on.
Yeah, that's the producer in you.
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm holding I'm holding on to my seat.
It's selfishness.
You think women are selfish?
Oh yeah, I think I've been saying this for years. The number one relationship killer is selfishness. Um,
I agree. I think it's
yeah,
on both sides though.
definitely, it's definitely on both sides because the man can be selfish with his time. Listen, I don't care what you tell me the reason why the relationship didn't work. I'm gonna trace it back down to
All
selfishness.
goes back to selfishness because
Yeah, but
I'm 100% in agreement with you at that point right there. I mean, because and when you come into a relationship, how in the world can you not, if you're really going into it with the idea of, hey, what's best? Let me lay down my agenda. You lay down your agenda and let's come and let's talk about it. If we don't come to an agreement, can we come back to it? What are you thinking? Can we just marinate on it? Can we pray about it? Can we
yeah,
talk to the Lord about it? And if you do that, I don't see how that's so complicated. Okay, Eric, let me show you who's on here. Cynthia, I told you that Dale said, and keep in mind you were saying some other things. Dale Mitchell, thank you all for your comments. Got to get to you. I can't show it. StreamYard is not cooperating with that, but that's okay. That's the old school way of thinking this generation. Lord help them. Women are pumping gas with men in the car,
mm,
changing tires, paying a man's bills. Now, it's certain things not to do per se, because you're not married. But if I take a lady out, I'm paying hands down.
absolutely,
Doggone it, Dale. I hate I can't put your comment up there. Doggone it, Dale. Thank you, thank you. Rachel Jones, a grown mature man will not let a woman pay, even if there's no expectation. All right,
absolutely,
Rachel. How I was raised, a man always pays on the first date, second or third. That's just how I was raised. This is Dale. I would feel naked or less than a man if she pays, but that's me. My parents have been married 56 years for a reason, and my father said he wouldn't do it any other way. I like that, but I do, I do understand that of course puts the woman in the position of advantage. But I'm gonna say to you, Eric, I do get that if we let go of these expectations a lot of times and just start looking and looking at the character, because if a man really does care for you, I mean, really, there are things that he's just going to do. Number one, or number two, if he doesn't get it right at first, he may not know that you're the one, but it could be room to make an adjustment and take care of it later on. Says Miss Rachel Jones is loving what you're saying. She says, "Speak it, Eric." I agree. Um, so go ahead on. I just wanted to let you know that there's some people watching and talking.
That's good. That's good stuff. I appreciate the
Yeah,
comment. And
yeah,
and for clarity, I'm with Dale. With Rachel. I'm in a total agreement with that. And but I want
yes.
you to look at it this way.
Okay,
Um, when if you're a woman and you know that you was instilled those type values, a man is going to do this. I'm a father of 3 girls, and so I dated those my daughters, and so I showed them, okay, that
that's good.
man is going to do this and he's going to do that, and I
That's good.
also told her if he don't do this, then he's not the one for you. So
That's
I'm
good.
with you on that because, but the reason why I have to say that so dramatically is because what I want you to understand is that although you don't expect it, it's not saying that you're going to lower your standards and not, and what is really happening is that I'm not going to put myself in a situation to where I'm expecting, something this. Keep in mind, we're talking about the princes, right? And
Okay.
then when it doesn't happen, okay, now all of a sudden, now and keep in mind, we have to departmentalize what phase you're in,
Yeah,
okay?
that's true.
Because there's a beginning phase,
Yeah,
okay? And even in the beginning phase, and I'll just say this: when if a person, whatever that expectation is, if opening the door, picking you up, meeting your parents, whatever that expectation is, that's part of the vetting process, and
yeah.
that's another thing that we don't do anymore that we should start doing. I talk about how, first of all, you got to admit that you don't do a good job picking your mate. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, you at
True.
some point you gotta be honest with yourself.
True.
I keep meeting this, I keep doing the same thing over and over again,
Go
and
back to what you just said. You said, I keep meeting this. I thought you were going to say, I keep meeting the same type of person.
the same type person. You
That's
keep
good.
meeting the same type person over and over again, and you keep wondering why the relationship is going bad.
Yeah.
You don't know how to pick them. You know,
Yes.
there was a time, there was a time where
Hmm.
parents was involved.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then I say this: I understand. Maybe your parents can't get involved, but do you have a good friend? I mean, I'm talking about a friend that knows you, loves you, and you trust, that you can say, listen, I'm thinking about going to this next level with him. I want you to vet him for me. Guess who
That's
did it?
good. That's
I
good.
did it. Hey, my partner for 40 some years. Listen, hey man, I'm thinking about doing this. I want y'all to spend some time because I need to. I don't want to mess this up. You see,
That's
I,
good.
I I gave him that authority. You see, because what we have to get to is say, even if you're good, that's not the point. The point I'm saying is it's okay to vet your future wife. You're making a lifetime decision. Okay,
I
it's
I
nothing
I,
wrong.
I, I agree. I 100%. And if people are listening, you're giving them the code. See, this is, you talk about picking certain people, you're giving them the code. And I think about, even in dating, if a person is selfish in dating, these are things don't show up. They don't show up all of a sudden. They've been there. Is whether or not we're willing to see that. But you're giving them the code. You talked about someone being selfish. You talked about us, making sure you're vetted. Like back how we used to do. They had to sit with mama and them, sit right in the middle of the parents and watch TV and see how they conducted themselves and what they talked about.
Yeah,
I love this conversation. I want to make sure that I show people how to get your book, or at least show them a cover of your book, so they will know exactly how to purchase it and where to go. But it's also on the website.
absolutely.
Eric, how do we get back to healing, and how do we, you've gave us the key on how to connect. I'm always news reporter mode, so I'm thinking, okay, how do we connect? Lose the expectations. And what I think and if I'm paraphrasing wrong, help me. Lose the expectations and just focus on meeting, enjoying conversations, and forget the all the extravagant expectations from day one, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And relationships, if you keep meeting the same person, it's time to start looking at your standards. It's time to start looking at why you're choosing people who are the same. So take some personal accountability. I'm hearing that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You
And
good, girl. You
I'm,
good.
I'm listening. I'm listening. And then thirdly, what I hear you say is in relationships, uh, I can go a lot of different directions in this, but let's lose as women. Let's lose the always right mentality. Let's lose the always right mentality. The I'm the princess and I'm always right. Let's get in there as a partner with the one that you love. And on either side, I don't think you were excluding the men. I was just thinking you're
Absolutely.
saying that you're hearing this from guys because you're in a male group. If you're wrong, say you're wrong, or be concerned. Sorry about all the noise. I've got the window open because I love the window open, and people like to drive with loud motors here where I'm at. It doesn't miss, whenever I'm on live. It's like, you hear all these loud motors. But in the relationship, be willing to take responsibility for apologizing and humble yourself. Did I get that pretty good? And I want you to leave us on a note to help us understand what men want. And I want you to answer that question again as you just kind of round this out for us.
Okay. And let me do this too.
Yes,
Um,
please.
there's there's two elements in love, and I think this is important to understand that you know for us Bible believers,
Yeah,
um, I'm one. I believe.
me
We
too.
know the greatest love verse in the Bible. I was brought up to say John 3:16.
Yes.
God so loved the world, but there's some verses before that. Um, it says, when we were in our most unlovable state, He
Come
sent
on
a
now.
redeemer.
Come on now.
Amen.
Come
Okay.
on now.
Now, so when I studied that, this is what I said: two things that love is going to do. Love is always going to accept you as you are.
Okay.
Love is not going to look at you and say there's anything that you have to change. Love is gonna look at you and say, you know what, exactly how you are. Now. I'm not talking about a person deciding that they want to do self development. I'm not
Okay.
talking about that. But what I'm
Okay.
saying is that that man, that woman is gonna look at you and say there's nothing that you need to change. Love is just like the Bible said, when we was in our most unlovable state, God
Yeah.
accepted us, and He said, "Man, I'm going to send you my most precious gift, His Son."
Okay.
Okay, so and then the second thing that love do, the word says that God gave, and so I realized that love always going to give. Love
Mm.
always seeks to give. Love is not concerned about what it's going to get in return. And
Mm.
so, and the reason why I have to, I have to share that, because when we deal with what do a man want, I told you before, man, a man is not concerned, but a woman should not be concerned. If and I know that the question can be answered on so many levels, but I take this broad approach to things, and what because I have an agenda, and my agenda is simply to say, man, we're going to have to do something about these failed marriages.
I agree.
We're gonna have to do something. We're gonna do something about it. And until we understand some basic stuff,
Yeah.
okay? Because I said that selfishness is the number one relationship killer. Well,
Yeah.
that's telling me that you don't love me.
Yeah.
If the only thing that you're concerned about is what I can give to you,
Yeah.
then I don't. I'm gonna argue the fact that you don't really love me.
Absolutely. I'm gonna argue it with you. I'm gonna agree with you on that.
So what do it? So we can talk about, the peace that the man want. We can talk about the support. We can talk about the companionship. We can talk about all of those things. But when you with the right man, the only thing that he's really concerned about is what he can do for his queen. Oh, you ain't a princess no more. Y'all married now.
Come
You
on
see,
now.
now you done elevated to queen now, and
Come
so
on.
now now it's like, now where I was talking about there was no expectations. Oh,
Yeah.
now I need you to draw from me. I need you to expect some things from me. I need you, because when you pull that out of me, it's just gonna make me better. And see, that's why we have to go back to God's original intent.
Mm.
Because he said, listen, Eric, I created you.
Come on
And when
now.
I got done creating you, I said, it's two things that God said when he got done creating me and every other man that's listening. He said, man, I did a good thing when I created you.
Yes.
But he also said, but you need some help.
Yeah.
You need some help. He said, as good as you are, as great as a creation you are, Eric, man, you're the apple of my eye. You're my spirit image. You man,
Yeah.
you are so good. But in order for you to live out this life as I expect you to live,
Yes.
then you're gonna need some help. Then he
Yeah.
created you. He created woman. And see, and so man, I'm saying, so this is where I say, no, I need you. I
Mm.
need you. It ain't
Mm.
about what I want. I need you. I need
Mm.
you because I can't complete my mission without you. And see,
Mm.
this is where we have to. This is the conversation we have to have, because I understand, man. I get it all. I get it. But we have to go back to what the original intent was. See, God had a plan. And the more we get away from his plan, the more we have to have these conversations to try to make it make sense. And God said, listen, I already figured it out for you. Just go back and do what I originally told you to do.
Do what I told you to
Just
do,
do what
and
I
you
told you to do. Amen.
yeah.
That's what I
Amen.
got.
Oh my gosh, you just took us to church. You took us to church, preacher. Preach, preacher. Um, Cynthia says sometimes we aren't always choosing that particular person. Instead, we are constantly attracting the same type of person. I like that because there's a subtle difference there. We're attracting, and sometimes for a woman, if she's attracting the same thing, it's not even choice. Sometimes we acquiesce into what's there, if that makes sense to you,
Hey,
because
dude.
choice is a powerful thing. But sometimes because it's there, we're attracting it, then we are drawn to it, for lack of a
That,
better
that,
word.
that's when that best friend need to come in and say, nope,
Come
you've done that
through,
before.
come through. The account of the humility to say and to be humble and say, hey, check this out. What do you think about this? I love that if they got nothing else, if we got nothing else, and I'm not going to say them, I'm going to put myself in that category too. Tiffany said, preach, Eric. Your sister Vicky is on here watching her brother.
Vicky.
And we have Marvin on here. Tiffany said, this is good stuff. And we have Marvin on here. He said, would you rather be catered to or be showered with chivalry? Rachel replied, I can't see hers, but the ladies are mostly answering B, that yes, B, that they want to, what's the word? Be showered with chivalry. So we've got Marvin on there. Marvin
Come
joins
on.
us a lot. Marvin comments and everything. And let me leave them with
Great
this.
question.
Okay. Say that again, Eric.
That was a great question, Marvin.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good, engaging. What did he say, bro? Going Billy Graham on us, getting us saved in these marriages, Greg, because we need some salvation in these marriage and relationships. We need some revival.
Amen. Amen.
Let me. I want to make sure that people have your website, the power of two. The power of two times.com. That's his website. He already has it listed on the screen, which is great for you. I also want to make sure I'm kind of a little nervous about sharing the screen because last time I went somewhere. I'm not even quite sure where I went. Let's see. Let's see before. Okay, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I have it pulled up here. Eric, it does me all the good to sit here and push these buttons and share all this stuff or whatever. This is exciting to me. And so there's his book. And I want to close out with his words this evening, okay? Boy, ladies, this has really been good. Ladies and guys, this has been so good. Drop the expectations at first. This is Keisha just surmising this. And Rachel, you did a good job too. I just can't pull it up on the screen. StreamYard is doing something a little wonky tonight, but if I could, I would have pulled it up on the screen for you. Another thing that he said tonight, he dropped some gems. Lose the selfishness. Number 3, be willing to apologize. We're talking what mature men want in relationships. Ooh, and I also typed this. Lean on your network. I didn't even see that I typed that. Lean on your network.
That's Holy Spirit right there.
That's the Holy Spirit, isn't it?
The Holy Spirit.
Yeah, lean on your network. Don't be afraid to ask.
Lord. Yes.
Yes. Eric, it's had a different feel, for each of the nights that we've done this. But, thank you for showing up and thank you for allowing God to use you. What I'm seeing in these conversations by talking to my male friends and family is that women want to hear from you. You all have the power to engage, and they're engaging because what my heart says is with all the challenges we've had, and I certainly have to put myself in there as well, is that we do want to learn. We still want to learn and we still want to know because we still want to connect. Because at the end of the day, we crave relationship. Amen. Good relationship. So I cannot thank you enough. I want to make sure that I show his information so you'll be able to, and that's his book. I wanted you to look at the cover there. I'm going to put it back on the screen now so you'll be able to actually see his website. And I want you to go and support. If you're tuning into the replay, I want you to put replay and make note of the power of 2times.com or 2x, whichever way you want to say that. 2x may be better for those who are spelling. And I really appreciate you. My goodness, these conversations I have in my mind, I'm like 30 minutes. And I get on here and start talking to you guys. And it's like an hour later, and I'm still like, I really don't want to wrap up, but I got to.
I appreciate you as well.
You're welcome. So congratulations on your marriage. Happy anniversary again. Happy early anniversary from me.
Thank you.
And I wish you nothing but success. And stay tuned. I just don't know that this conversation is over. It's just over for right now. Okay?
Right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome
as well.
Oh, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your night, okay?
You too. Thank you.
I'll go back and watch all of this. We'll see you later, Eric. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining.
That is Eric Kirk. He is author, entrepreneur. I don't even know if I mentioned that at first. I just went in. But he was, as part of his bio, years as a sales manager, many years. And from Bessemer, by the way. Bessemer, born and bred, graduated from Hueytown High School. Years and years and years as a sales manager, but now an entrepreneur, and he's an author. I tried to put the information on the screen so you could see where to get his book. If not, go back and just rewind us. So thank you for tuning in tonight. Let me tell you what's going to happen over the next couple of days, okay? We're going to take a kind of an in the middle of the week break, okay, on Wednesday, and we're going to get ready for the second half of the week. We have Joe Lockett coming up on Thursday. And then on Friday, we continue the conversation with Antonio Boswell. So we have more coming for you, just sandwiched right in the middle there. We're going to take a little bit of a break tomorrow, but we'll have something good for you. You know, I'm going to be talking, okay, and interjecting some things, but we're going to come back with a lot with the interviews on Thursday and Friday to round out everything as we study what men want in relationships. So just want to tell you that, and I'll reiterate it tomorrow so you all will know what's going on. I'll reiterate that we're going to round out the week with the rest of those interviews from our men. So thank you so much for tuning in. And listen, I'm so serious about this. If there's something that you want to know, if there's something that you want me to share along that relational arena, send it my way. This is to help us connect. This is not about me. This is about me helping us, understand how to connect, okay? Giving you what you want to see. A lot of channels you could go to, a lot of things you could flip to. But let me say this because I'm impressed to say it right now. I'm impressed to say this. If you are in that relational arena, if you are desiring a relationship, you're desiring a husband, whatever your desire is, my prayer in my heart is that I'm in agreement with you that no matter how long it takes and no matter what it looks like, God says he's the God of the impossible. God specializes in difficult situations. So your situation hadn't caught him by surprise. It's nothing that he's saying, oh, she just, oh, it's just so difficult. God is not saying that, okay? Because God created you. God is not saying that. Yes, life changes us and morphs our personalities sometimes, but none of this catches God by surprise. So be encouraged. It's changed. It's not really good or bad. It's just different. That's all, ladies and gentlemen. It's just different. What we're doing is getting information, getting into the minds of our men. So I love the conversation. I hate I couldn't post it. Again, StreamYard was doing some things, so I was reading here off my phone. But that conversation helps me. All of this helps me so I can understand what to give you that's going to be of value to you. I want to provide value to you as it relates to relationships and to myself as well, because we need to know, right? We need to know how we're missing it so we can do better and we can be better and have some great relationships. It is my heart that above all else, like the word of God says, that you prosper even as your soul prospers. And that means in every area of your life, it's my prayer and my desire that you prosper. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Again, we're not going to have an interview tomorrow. Stay tuned. We'll see what we have, but we'll resume back with our men talk on Thursday and Friday. But I'll have something special for you tomorrow night. You know how we roll. I'm going to have something interesting for you tomorrow night. I'm not going to leave you hanging, okay? All right. This is Keisha, Coach K. If you need anything or you want to see anything, talk to me. Just send me a note. Mwah. Love y'all, and I'll see you tomorrow. Same station, okay? Bye for now.